What's up, guys? Happy Monday. Market is booming, everything's in green, Bitcoin is going up, so we gotta know what to do, right? I can see you think, yes, everything's in the green, yes, I'm making money, yes, Bitcoin is going up, yes, all my other coins are performing very, very well, but how do I play on, what are my plays during a time like this? How do I make sure that I benefit from it as much as possible, right? Which is always the trick, but it is a very good question to ask yourself. Why? Is because during plays like this, you can make a lot of money as long as you have a proper exit strategy, as long as you know how to handle it and how to play in on the market. First off, Bitcoin, right now sitting at just before the 44K, it is up just over 6%, and over the 7-day mark, it's just gone up just over 50%. For Bitcoin, that's very decent, especially considering last week it dropped quite a lot, right? Ethereum always outperforms Bitcoin by a little bit, and the rest of the top 10, the top 15 is kind of doing what it should be doing. Shiba, a lot of people were considering getting back into Shiba last week. I don't really fuck with the whole meme coins anymore, but for the people that do like it, you know, it was a good play, I guess. 60% up. But what's really happening? What's really going on? Well, with Bitcoin, if we look at Bitcoin itself, as we said before, people were scared a little bit. Last week, it dropped down to close to 35K. Fear and greed index at that time was massively in the red. There was extreme fear going on. People were afraid. People would, you know, we're talking about, oh, bear market this, bear market that. And now you can see the fear and greed index kind of recovering again. It is in the fear market, but it's kind of pushing against the neutral, right? And when we get into neutral, usually what naturally happens is just simple psychology. It kind of pushes you towards the greed market, right? That's usually the natural flow of what's happening. So what do we need to expect? What do we know? Because it can also bounce back quite a lot, right? I'm not gonna pretend here and sit like I know what's gonna happen with Bitcoin. I saw this funny tweet with somebody. It's like Bitcoin just does whatever Bitcoin wants. Bitcoin, nobody can handle Bitcoin. Nobody can know what Bitcoin does. It just does whenever it wants to do something. It just does it, right? And yes, there's a couple of metrics and a couple of indicators knowing what roughly will happen, but overall Bitcoin kind of just goes wherever the fuck it wants. So a little bit longer ago, right, 2 weeks ago, it dropped down to under the 34K, and people were starting to get a little bit afraid of what was going to happen. And after that, you can see it did recover a little bit. It was struggling again, but then it definitely did do a massive jump up here. There's a video that I've seen where they talked about, you know, what you kind of want to see with Bitcoin. You know, what kind of gives you a bit of a confidence boost is when Bitcoin suddenly jumps up out of nowhere, which is what it did right now, right? That's what it did kind of here and what it did again. So that's a good indicator of a good recovery. But again, there's a couple of resistance points that we got to look out for. Usually 646 will probably be resistance again. And if it does break through that, well, we might see 50. But it can also just go totally, completely the other way around. So again, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know what is going to happen with Bitcoin. What we do know is that when Bitcoin does well, there's other projects that do well too. And we always focus a lot on the gaming scene, right? You hear me talk about this quite often, that the gaming scene is booming. And we're going to probably see like a shift where the whole gaming, crypto gaming is just a thing on its own. Bitcoin might plummet fucking 20-30%, and the crypto gaming scene is just gonna take off. Why? Because of the whole mass adoption, because this is where the whole gaming scene is going towards. There's over 2 billion gamers in the real world, and we have a fraction of that in the crypto gaming scene. So it only makes sense that people eventually jump into this and go from the normal gaming towards crypto gaming, where they can actually make money. And it's so early, games aren't well developed yet, etc. So this is going to be very exciting. This whole market is going to be very exciting. It's what we focus on. And if you would be in our Discord, then you would have had a couple of awesome calls already. So if you are not in the Discord and you missed out on that, too bad for you, but you can still join if you want to. There's a link in the description down below for the Discord for our community. This is where we give all these early calls. One of them being Gala. We focused on Gala. I called it a couple of days ago. Gala did very well over the last 7 days. Another one that did very well was UFO Gaming. Let's see if it's in there. Here we go. Same thing. UFO Gaming, 72%. Again, this one would have been announced in Discord. And then we have Peer. Veracity was one as well. We called that a little bit longer ago, but it took a little bit longer for Veracity to finally spark up again, but it definitely did. So a couple of these calls were definitely right on the money. And then you have Peer. If I'm correct, it's here somewhere in the top 100 as well. Maybe I went past it already. It shouldn't be this low. Fulcrum Forge is what I am looking for, but yeah, here we go. I was gonna say definitely a little bit higher in the ranking. Fulcrum Forge went all the way down to $10. We've been talking about Fulcrum Forge a lot, but this is a cool indicator of kind of the sentiment that's going on within the crypto gaming, because they went all the way from we got in at like $13 all the way at the start, and then it bounced all the way up to $43. It got like a Binance listing very early on, $43. And then they were hacked. There was a couple of new negative announcements, and then they couldn't really recover that after that anymore. And they went all the way from 42 to 10. Project still stays the same. It's an awesome project. It has a lot of potential. Sure, that they got hacked is just stupid. They should have some form of security. But these hackers these days, they really know what they're doing. So shit like that happens. It's crypto, stuff like that happens. It's not that big of. It is a big of a deal, but not that big of a deal for the project, as long as the overall. Their goals, their mission, their vision, everything stays the same. And that's the case with Fulcrum, so they do definitely have a lot of potential. So we talked about it at the $10, $11 mark, and it's gone up close to 50% again, which is good. But then overall, the whole crypto gaming scene, since it has been taking off this much over the last couple of days, what's going to happen now? What can we expect? Well, if we look at what's happened of why did everything jump up out of nowhere again? One of the reasons being the news that came out right of the, I think this is the correct one, yeah, on the job announcement that came on Friday, right? So as we can see, XRP leads gains. XRP jumped up 30% over the last 7 days in major cryptos. Bitcoin hold above 42K. So this update is from a little bit longer ago today, and it actually started continuing going back up. As you can see, it broke through a resistance here, and considering again this article is from a little bit longer ago, we are probably sitting somewhere at around here right now, right? So it's continuing to bounce up, continuing to rise up. So that's a good indicator. And again, usually crypto gaming follows after, so we can definitely expect that run to continue for at least another couple of days. Crypto market extended its recovery during this morning in Europe following a weekend bounce, with major cryptocurrencies rising over the past 24 hours. Bitcoin and Ether, the two largest cryptocurrencies by market capitalization, advanced 3%. Some analysts said Friday's release of stronger than expected US jobs data by investors' sentiment, which supported an increase in price of Bitcoin. So that's what happened, right? Which is good. Positive reaction ignited a bounce for the crypto markets too. Crypto broke out of two similar downtrends from the RSI within the past year. So this is a positive indicator, right, for Bitcoin itself. Now we kind of know what could have sparked one of the jumps up. And again, the crypto fear and greed index is always a good indicator of kind of knowing what to expect. And considering this kind of jumped up from extreme fear towards fear, you still got to be careful, because again, we still don't really know what's going to happen. But it could very easily jump into neutral and then jump into greed, and then that means that we're going to see a massive run upwards, and it's just going to blow off. And then that's when you'll want to have a couple of positions in these crypto gaming coins. So as for now, what do you want to do? Well, if you were in it, Guild is one that we announced as well a couple of days ago, which did awesome. I'm very bullish on the whole gaming guild scene. We did a video on it not too long ago, a couple of days back, on the whole gaming scene, of which Guild Games was one of them. And why is that the case? Because again, crypto gaming is taking off. All these projects are, doing awesome, and you need gaming guilds that are gonna help the whole ecosystem of the crypto gaming. If you want to know a little bit more about what it really is, watch the top 3 video of gaming guilds. So what do you need to do, right? If you don't have a position in any of this, well, do you just want to jump in blindly right now? Maybe yes, maybe no. I know that's a stupid answer, but that's the real answer you're going to get from me. Why? Because you don't want to just FOMO into something and jump into something. Why not? It's because, well, these numbers, don't lie, they're very awesome. They have jumped up. And even if it's going to continue with another rise and another 10, 20, 30%, eventually it's reaching its max and it will jump back down. I'm not going to expect things to just double over the next couple of days. There will be a couple of moments where it kind of just finds a little bit of easy water and doesn't do too much for a couple of days. That's when you want to consider buying back in, right? So again, if we look at Bitcoin, it had that massive jump up. You look at the chart here, it jumped up out of nowhere and then it continued doing this. Well, this was a good moment to jump into the crypto gaming, right? Because you know that that's going to follow afterwards. Now it has jumped up quite a lot already. If you're in it, also make sure you take out profit on the way up, and then it could very easily be the case that it's going to jump up towards 46 or even close to 50, but then drop all the way back down to 40 or wherever, and then that will be another moment to buy back in, right? I ideally want to buy in during these times, which is what I did last week and the week before. This is when we stacked up on a couple of coins, especially the crypto gaming. Gala was one of them, as I said before. UFO Gaming was one of them. Youth Guild Games was one of them. So there's a couple of them. Altura was one of them as well that did very well. There's a couple that we stacked up on. And then during this moment is when you can buy in very cheap, and then you want to sell on the way up towards this rate, right? Is this a perfect indicator of everything that's going to happen? No, definitely not, but it does help looking at the overall market. So very simple market update of what's going on right now. What do we want to do? Well, you want to make sure that you take on profits on the way up. And again, if you want to be part of all these early calls that I do before I can make a video on it, we always post it in the Discord channel. So you want to make sure that if you want to get these early calls and you want to be able to, you know, benefit from all that, make sure that you join the Discord link down below. Nothing that I do, nothing that I say is financial advice. Everything is for entertainment and personal purposes only. Don't forget any of that. Make sure you do your own research. If you don't, you're just being stupid. If you just blindly follow somebody, you're just being stupid, because usually you're going to be too late. Somebody else has already moved and done other things and has already acted on that. Right? So I'm going to teach you a lesson here. Don't just blindly follow somebody. Just make sure that when you do buy into something, you've done your research. Never blame somebody else. Always blame yourself on it. Other than that, guy, quick market update. That's all I got for you guys right now. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and the bell notification so you get updated on all the next videos that we come up with. And I'll see you guys in the next video.